Hello, everyone. It's Marla. Welcome back to Twinstrology. So today we need to talk about the Aquarius New Moon and the 22222 portal that's happening this week. We have quite a few things shifting this week. Today is the 30th that I'm recording this. And yesterday, the 29th, Venus went direct, finally. Then we have the new moon happening on February 1st, which is also Chinese New Year. And we're heading into the year of the tiger, which both of those things just feel very auspicious to me. Then from February 1st into February 2nd, we have the festival of Imbolc. And then on the 3rd of February, we have Mercury going direct. And with Mercury going direct, we have all of the planets in direct motion all the way until April 29th, when Pluto goes retrograde, and that is the day before the Taurus Solar Eclipse. Now, those dates are going to be important because what I'm feeling is that there's this shift that's happening between now and that first solar eclipse. First of all, we have all the planets direct, right? So where we have felt in this void energy, and I feel like that's been going on probably since about October, end of November, and it just feels like nothing could really get going. Of course, we had Venus was in her shadow at that time before she went retrograde, and I feel like that was slowing things down, but truthfully, we've had a lot of inner work to do. And this, the last couple months have been all about this inner journey. And I don't think that inner journey is ending quite yet. Now, since the solstice, I think we've all felt a really big shift and letting go in the energy in which our ability to let go of some of our old mental patterns or programs has really become easier. At least I'm feeling that. And I think a lot of you are too. And this all has to do with manifestation. And we worked so hard last year on clearing up a lot of things. And that is what's making the way for this change that we have going on. But I bring up, that date, April 30th, because I feel like what we're going to see happening from this 22222 portal until then is we're beginning to pick up steam. And they're showing me this vision of a train. And when a train starts moving, it doesn't go super fast right away, right? It has to pick up speed and slowly the wheels start churning. And then it gets quicker and quicker and quicker. That's what we're going to start seeing. But we still do need this little bit of time, especially this month of February, I feel, to continue to anchor things in our mind so that we really have this mental stability very strong within us, so that when that train really starts picking up momentum, we know what we're doing. Because what has been the problem for us in the past, once that train would pick up speed, we'd fall back into some kind of old pattern and our vibration would shift. We'd fall out of alignment. We'd have to pick ourselves back up, slowly chugging along until we built that momentum once again. And that's fine. That was part of our journey, part of our growing experience. But we have grown. We've learned a lot, and the energy has shifted a lot. And so that momentum is just going to build and build and build. I'm sure that you are feeling time speeding up as well. Like, to me, the days just go so quickly. It's like I'm waking up and the next thing I know, it's like 3 or 4 o'clock and the whole day is gone. So with all the planets going direct, you're going to feel like time is going fast. So I think, get through February, because this new moon and the Leo full moon are going to be very important to um, the energy that we're creating as far as our ability to manifest things goes. And then when we go into March, we start getting close to Aries season and the spring equinox. You'll see like the steam has picked up. So take heart, right? Because it can be very frustrating right now and it's a little bit scary. I wrote a post last week about this energy shift and how a lot of light workers are getting their fears triggered around having trust. Now, that was something that we worked on so hard last year, and we made a lot of progress. And a lot of you are doing it. You're finding that you can maintain stability in the face of the fear. Because what's happening is we are beginning to manifest things. Things are coming into fruition, but it's that slow process. And so right now, you can feel it. You can feel like there's something coming, but you can't quite grasp it, nor do we really have clarity about what that is. And it's a little bit scary and frustrating because we're like, well, what's happening? It's like the old has passed away and the new is not yet here. And you're on that bridge in between the two spaces. There was a card that I pulled. I posted a pick a card reading the other day about your spiritual guidance for the year. And one of the cards that came up was this card called Narrow Path. And it was this high, narrow wooden bridge, right, over like a mountain pass. And that feels like where we're at. We're in between space, like on this tightrope in this, what feels like a very precarious position. And we don't really know what to do because we cannot go back to where we were. And yet, the next step for us is manifesting one step at a time, slowly, slowly, slowly over this bridge. And we have to just trust with all our might that the next step is going to show up for us in the right time. And this is really teaching us how to live in the moment. It's the perfect energy to be in, as being a master creator and manifester. Because in order to really be good at this, we have to live in the moment and we have to allow and we have to have enough expansion within our mind to be open to unlimited possibilities. But if we keep clinging to the past and we keep trying to make things happen the way they happened in the past or in the old ways, then you're not going to feel good because that way doesn't work anymore. That's not what New Earth is about. So we have to take heart right now. There's still a lot of healing and clearing going on too, as these planets shift. Another thing I wrote this week was about Venus turning direct in square to Chiron, amongst other things that were happening, and how that was creating some releases in our energy and could be triggering old patterns, especially around abandonment and that sort of thing. I think I did talk about that last time in my video too. But, guys, just to mention while I'm here, if you don't already, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, then you get my most up-to-date posts or whatever I feel going on in the energy. Sometimes I post little readings. I'm also on TikTok too. So check me out there if you want the most up-to-date stuff. But Yeah, you can't go back to the old ways. This is new earth. This is new energy. And in fact, we have all these twos going on, right? I mentioned the 222 portal. I'm not going to say all those twos again. But the new moon itself is happening on February 1st. So we have like 21222. We have Chinese New Year also on February 1st. We have Imbolc happening from February 1st into February 2nd. And the new moon itself, not only is it on February 1st, but it's at 12:20. So we have a lot of this 2 and 1 sequences. And that might be a number that you see a lot. It is a number that I see a lot. I see 12:21 all the time. That's one of my numbers to let me know that I'm aligned. But what 2 and 1s mean when you have 2s and 1s in some kind of, whatever the pattern is, it doesn't matter. It means you have to be open to new knowledge. Your perceptions are changing. There's karmic clearing and a release of old patterns happening. So we know that that's all taking place this week. And that's going to be happening all month because, as I said, this is a big month where we're still kind of clearing out some of those old patterns. We're going to have a lot of these 2s and 1 sequences as we go through this month as well. So, all right, well, let's talk about this new moon for a moment. Big new moon happening in Aquarius at 12 degrees of Aquarius. Is it 12 degrees? Yes, it is 12 degrees. Sorry, I just had to double check. And the new moon is triggering the Saturn-Uranus square that's been happening, right? Both of those are the rulers of Aquarius as well. And Saturn and Uranus have been helping us let go of the old and bring in all of these new changes. So the new moon itself is squaring Uranus in Taurus. And what I was shown happening is between now and that eclipse on April 30th, the sun, so right now the sun and the moon, they're square Uranus. Well, that solar eclipse is going to be conjunct Uranus. So what I'm getting told is pay attention to the things that are happening for you now, and probably the things that have been happening for you throughout January. What have you been working on? What have you been thinking about? What have you been wanting to create or implement in some way? Well, when that new moon happens when it's gone a quarter of the way around the zodiac and it's then conjunct Uranus, you are going to see some kind of resolution happening, some kind of change happening. And it's likely to be something you don't expect, or it comes about in a way that you're not really expecting. Think of it as a surprise from the universe. But I do feel like it's going to be something really, really good, something that we're going to be so happy and so excited about. So that's what I feel like this time between now and then is going to be really important for us to clear out the mind and then start putting the things that we want into play, meaning we're going to be guided to start taking action steps towards those things. So with this 222 portal as well, this is pretty big energy. And if you take 5 2s and you add them up, you get 10, and you reduce that to 1. So this is also clarifying for us that we have a new beginning happening with this new moon. It's a start of a new cycle. And I think you can all feel the multidimensional quality of this portal. Like, to me, this portal is already open, and it's not just a portal that's going to be happening on that day. Um, but it'll be for a few weeks. I'm getting just now, it'll be open until the 22nd of February. But there is this multidimensional aspect. We can really feel, I just want to say timelines, these different timelines at play. Personally, I've been working on a past life. It's something that I've been working on for a few years, but I feel a major shift happening around it. And there's a soul integration happening. And that's what you guys are going to be doing too as part of this gateway. There's soul integration. In order to integrate that part of your soul, you have to overcome any obstacles that you're still carrying from that. So, like, what kind of emotions or patterns or projections or beliefs did you have in that life that maybe were limiting you? Well, when you clear that out, you're going to find that the positive and powerful aspects of who you were in that life can be integrated, or the lessons in that life can be integrated more. Saturn and Uranus are also helping us with that, as well as Venus in square to Chiron. Some of you might also be called to travel to some place as well. And if you are, whether you know it or not, that's part of grid work that you're doing because you're connecting to some other lifetime. But there's a lot of wisdom that we can access right now through this portal, accessing other lifetimes, even cosmic energy. So it's a really good time to meditate. And they're saying that's why it's a time where we haven't finished with that inner journey, because we're going to be getting a lot of downloads over the next couple of weeks through this portal. And that's part of that multi-dimensional connection. And through these downloads, we're going to be getting clarity about our next step. So it's not just about resting. It's about resting to heal, but it's about resting to find that state of peace and quiet within yourself so that you can connect to that guidance. And yeah, if you feel like you're being called to travel somewhere, do it. There will be physical activations as well through this. So that also brings about the need to go within and rest so you can take care of your body. You might be feeling very sleepy, for example, right now. Definitely, like, because I know I've been sleepy and I tend to not sleep that well, and I tend to get a lot of activations at night. So on those days when I feel tired, I take advantage of that because I know, like any day, the activations are going to start up again and I won't be able to sleep. So the sign of Aquarius, where the new moon is, represents our hopes, dreams, and wishes. And that's one of the reasons why I know that this new moon is so connected to all the things that we're trying to manifest, because it's a big activation of our hopes and dreams. And these are things that we've already sent out to the universe. You know, what Abraham calls our vortex. They're all right there in the vortex. And the changes that we're making are aligning us more and more and more with everything that's in that vortex. And it's getting very close to harvest time. And the seeds that we plant in the month of February are going to be the ones that are really growing. And I would say in the month of January as well. Now, the festival of Imbolc also has to do with seeds beginning to take root, among other things. But I feel that so strongly in the energy. And then when we get to the end of April, that's when we're going to start seeing real breakthroughs happening. And of course, there'll be another eclipse after the solar eclipse. So we know that when the eclipses come, that's when things really happen. Now, Vesta is conjunct Venus right now, has Venus stations, and that's igniting that sacred fire within us. To me, that sacred fire is all about inspiration and our creation. And that sacred fire, it has to come from God. It doesn't come from our ego. In fact, it's the ego that's always getting in the way and blocking us because we want things to be a certain way in accordance with our ego. We want or our ego wants to feel fulfilled. But it's not about that. It's about service. And it's service in the sense that our creations are aligned with love in the universe. That's where our true purpose lies. And so it's so important to let go of all those ego ideas and just allow things to come in the right way, because we don't know what is coming right now. We don't know all the steps to get there. And that's by design, because we will sabotage ourselves if we get too far ahead. And we always have to trust that higher power, that higher power knows more than us. Sometimes, we want to be at step 20 and we're only at step 1. And we wonder why step 20 isn't happening. And we don't realize through the ego mind that we have to go from here to here to here to here to here. We have to take these steps because each one of those steps is important to building the right foundation, making the changes within, preparing you for all that you're going to receive. So, we tend to, as humans, if things don't come fast enough, we think that it's not necessarily going to happen. But that's not true. We just have to be patient and allow ourselves to be aligned with it. And the more that we align with our higher self, the easier it is to align with that energy. So Vesta and Venus definitely helping us with that. Mars is also conjunct those two planets, and Venus and Mars are coming into a nice conjunction. That's going to be happening later on in the month. So I'll probably talk about that in my next video. But I'll just say that Venus and Mars, right, the masculine and feminine, when they come together, that creates the manifestation. That's where the manifestation comes from. That's where our creativity comes from. So that's those two planets coming together are also igniting the creative impulse within us. Asteroid Karma is making a conjunction with the South Node, as well as the asteroid Excalibur. And Excalibur represents our mission once again. And the highest expression of our mission, when I think of Excalibur, I think of knights and chivalry and honor and truth and being just. I feel karma here, the asteroid karma here being on the south node, I feel it can be very positive karma. Now, it depends where you're at in your journey and that sort of thing. Of course, karma being on the south node is helping us with that multidimensional aspect in all those past lives. So yes, some of those old patterns might be triggered, but it's also responsible for that transition between the old way and now the good karma is taking up the new way. Because for many of us, even though I said, like, we can't go back to New Earth, we can't go back to the old ways, and yet there's a subtle difference here in what I'm talking about. The way forward is through the past. So that's why this past life energy, this multidimensional energy is so important right now, because you need to go back there and you need to collect something. You need to collect your good karma. And that's going to help you go in the right direction, the direction of the north node, whatever that is for all of us. And Sirius as well is on the north node, which is another indication for me that we're planting the seeds that we're going to be harvesting all of this year. So, it's not quite spring yet. We're halfway between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, but we can start getting things ready. We start preparing that garden. And then in spring, that's going to start getting even stronger. In the summer, you're going to see that growing even more. And then towards the end of the year, we're really going to start seeing things happening very quickly. But we have to remember, the most important thing to remember through all of this is that age-old phrase we all know, has within, so without. Everything that you manifest in your world externally is a product of what is happening internally. And so we're all working on finding that peace, that surrender, that trust, so that we're not getting thrown around by anything that's happening externally to us. And when we take our focus off anything negative that's happening externally, it doesn't affect us. It doesn't even figure in to our energy any longer. Now, for some of you, that might seem really different or really difficult to do right now with everything that's happening in the world. But trust me, the more that you can let go of the external and focus on who you are inside, the world that you want to create, and being at peace with everything, the happier you're going to be, and the more you're going to see things around you taking shape in a more positive way. So the message that I want to leave you guys with is, when I'm saying has within, so without too, they're saying, like, we have to play, we have to change our idea about how we manifest things or how we create things, because that is so connected to the idea of work. Now, the Sabian symbol for Saturn right now is a big businessman at his desk. And I think Saturn's been on that one before. And at the same time, Uranus is on a woman sprinkling long rows of flowers. And this is talking about that shift, right? Saturn here is teaching us about the old way. That businessman at his desk, workaholic, works 12 hours a day. Everything is about money, money, money. There's an image with that too, or we have an image often of businessmen that there's in some way unscrupulous. And we have to change our thinking that we have to work and force everything when all we really need to do is play, have fun, trust, know that the universe is supporting us in every way. That can be a tall order, I know. And maybe not every one of you is ready for that right now, but it's coming. This shift is coming. And so we want to be following our passions all the time. We want to be doing things that bring us joy. It's that energy of joy that aligns us with what is out there in our vortex. It's not work. And that is going to be something that we're probably going to be working on shifting for at least the next year, if not the next several years, because that is a pattern that's so ingrained, that kind of Puritan work ethic, and that you can't achieve anything unless you work hard for it. And shifting from that into having joy, playing, because, play really stimulates our creativity as well as raising our vibration. We need to let ourselves be childlike once again. So make sure that you take time to do that this month as part of your shift and part of setting those wheels into motion and getting that train building its momentum. Take time to just be. And we know this, right? This is not a new teaching. We know that the ascension process is not about doing, it's about being. We've known it, but now it's time to truly implement that. So if you would like a personal reading, if you'd like me to do your natal chart or a synastry chart, or do a past life regression and see what is wanting to be shown to you about your past lives, my website is twinstrology.com. Again, follow me on social media. The links are below. Sending you all a lot of love, and I'll speak to you soon.